So I just finished watching Contrapoints video on conspiracy, and instead of leaving a overlong comment, I thought I'd just make a quick video reply on a couple of points I wanted to address. First, I wanted to go with the symbolism portion.
Not only do we recognize patterns where there aren't any, but also our preconceived biases influence the type of patterns that we recognize. It's like people who go looking for God tend to find the God they're looking for. The Virgin Mary tends to appear on grilled cheese sandwiches in Miami, while the name of Allah tends to appear on melons in Indonesia. And conspiracists who think the world is ruled by a satanic cabal tend to find demonic symbols basically everywhere.
Sam Smith and The Weeknd with some of the most satanic performances ever. Lizzo with a literal 6 on her head, Doja Cat and all these other artists.
Do you guys get it yet?
And this is a small but I feel important critique that could have been amended by a single line, but unless I missed it, you never made a distinction between man-made symbolism and symbolism in the clouds and on toast with this examination of symbolism. If you pick up New X-Men issue number 118 and you think you're seeing the word sex in the artwork of every single page of that all-ages comic book, you are. Because the artist intentionally snuck the word in there without telling the writer or the publisher. Because they thought it would be funny to do it. Like, no great meaning, just an absurdism, a troll. Filmmakers use symbolism with explicit intent all the time. And I think it's fairly obvious that more than a few Disney artists have indeed intentionally inserted sexual imagery in their commissioned Disney works. So the idea that nothing means anything even when designed by humans seems like a critical miss in the dialogue here. I think it was just an accidental oversight, and you did a lot of amazing work here, but it is valid to make this distinction. Like, yeah, those symbols are on all those currencies for reasons. Some might be the reasons we think we know, some might not be. Why is the little smiling spider there on the dollar bill? Because the artist likely decided that there ought to be some creature in the art responsible for spinning all of that webbing. We can only guess at the reason and speculate as to the purpose. Like Captain America's shield is likely drawn as a pentacle because that symbol stands for air, earth, fire, water, and spirit, and wrapping them in a circle depicts these things as living in harmony. Sometimes things mean things, and if that thing is made by man, it is entirely coherent to consider the nature and intent of its construct and to engage with the construct as being meaningful, as in speaking to some truth, or at least committed by the artist or craftsman with some relevant purpose, even if that purpose is just a preferred aesthetic. Now, as to nature depicting things that we make patterns of, it cannot be confirmed, no matter what any critic cries out, whether those clouds in the sky that look like a horse because they were meant to look like a horse or not. That cannot be confirmed nor denied, but rather only speculated. But when it comes to the painter, who then paints a picture of a horse made of clouds, there may be some truth in it. And that truth may be that a horse made of clouds is worth our attention. And it may just be a memory of horses made of clouds to come. Not everything that's true can be shown to you, and it is the purpose of art antithetical to craft, to make manifest in our reality an interaction with these truths.
To illustrate why dualism is wrong, let's use MK Ultra as an example. Why did MK Ultra happen? Did the CIA experiment with mind control because they were Satanists who delight in doing evil? No, that's not how things happen. In all of human history, almost nothing has happened because of Satanists.
This, I think, requires specificity. What they chose was injustice. You say Satanism, but they actively chose to knowingly commit injustice. That's the thing we name evil. The absence, the void, the nothing. Dualism addresses the asymmetry of justice and injustice, the asymmetry of matter versus antimatter. It's not a fiction. It's not something conjured. Dualism is evidentiary. And as we are matter made conscious, demonstrably, meta-study exhaustively verified and designed to pursue justice, our liberty is what contends with these dueling factions. Factions that are, again, objectively dueling. Altruism or selfishness, justice for all, or injustice for some.
So they didn't think they were doing evil. They thought of themselves as protecting the free world against an existential threat. And when those are the stakes, the ends justify the means.
The void, the absence we name evil's greatest weakness, is that it requires you to speak for it, act on behalf of it. And what always belies evil is the truth inherent to existence. There can only be justification, a justice to the means, if the ends exist. But as consciousness gives us the knowing that observation is eternal, there are only then the means, for as long as the void, for as long as evil never overwhelms the good. So when the abyss tells you to say that injustice is required to do good, that injustice is required to achieve justice, or the ends justify the means, it's our duty to make less of the nothing. I really don't want to crack the egg of my ideology all over this video, but I will say that a lot of assumptions were made that I struggle to find authenticity in, chief of which is the presentation that we are fundamentally blind to our experience as beings of this universe. As it is correct that everything that's true can't be shown to you, there is then something we call true that we're aiming at when we work to articulate and depict truth. And truth is not justification, but rather justice is evidence for truth, for something inherently observable in the real. We can work to make fairness a requirement of some mass, semi-conscious mammalian life, but justice does nothing for the conscious individual bent on materialism and physicalism, but to soothe an ethereal pressure, a pressure that cannot be relieved via biological intervention, unless that intervention reduces a man to a beast, to that semi-conscious ape. Only then does the ethereal pressure of justice evaporate, and all that remains is the inherent desire for fairness. And as such, there is room for more than the comprehensible material, the observable real. That's it. Just a couple of points regarding a nearly 3-hour-long video. Always enjoy your work. Glad to see you posting again. Stay safe, be well. I look forward to your next video.